Yes,
Okay.
we're live.
Shalom.
Yeah,
Salam
yeah,
alaikum.
yeah. Same to you.
All right. So I'm sure people are just been anxiously awaiting this second conversation between us to see what deep and profound things are going to happen
Of
between
course.
us. Yeah. So, anything you want to, do you want to be in charge here? Like, is there anything you want to talk about?
Yes,
Okay. Tell
I,
me.
I think people want to know how a breathing session, because yeah, I'm one of the few people in Holland who did a lot of effigy breathings.
Yeah.
So I think people want to know what happens in an effigy breathing session. What
Yeah.
stages are there? You know?
Um, well, I'll say one part for me that I'll say my side, and maybe you can say your side, so we can have both. Because sometimes I think like I speak about it transpersonally, like from what you're going to get and stuff like that, but you can actually just say what it feels like to you. Um,
Mm.
and also for people that are listening, like the reason why we're doing this is because you found Effiji Breathwork and liked it and got benefit from it. And this is how it works. Like I'm coming there because this is your opportunity to get as much free work as possible because we know you're cheap. No, wait, that's not why. No, seriously, it's that we wouldn't do this if it didn't feel like it was important. So I think it'll be good for you to say what the breath work has done for you. So I would say, so the question is, what happens when you do the breath work?
Yes, yes.
So for one, you're consciously hyperventilating, and what I mean by that is that if hyperventilating, like if you have a panic attack and you go, you start to involuntarily to breathe through your mouth because your body's trying to release trauma. And Western medicine would say, don't do that, it's bad for you. But really what it is that your body's trying to release something. So when you choose to consciously breathe like this, you're choosing to take the journey that's happening from the breath, which is the life force energy, comes from the universe, you're taking light and energy into your body. You start to journey into the inner world, to the word the unconscious, where all of your energy that's been stuck and locked up due to trauma will come up. And even if you don't think you have trauma, you will quickly find out when you're breathing whether you're afraid of this process, whether you're open to it, what sort of things that you're going to encounter. So we use the breath work to create a connection back to your true self and to encounter along the way the various patterns of trauma that are the same patterns of trauma in your life that prevent you from living your life purpose. So we use the breath work to encounter those patterns and programs and resistances, to breathe into them, to free them up so that your energy can be freed up. And it's very dynamic. It can be very emotional. It's going to be a lot of physical sensations. It's not difficult in physiologically. You don't have to be spiritually evolved. You don't have to be young. You don't have to even understand the work. If you just breathe fully for the hour, you're going to have a profound experience. Yeah, and we play music during it, and um, all the music I generally use, not all of it, but most of it is my own music that I've created specifically for the breath work, which people can go on any streaming services and hear. And I'm going to guide people through the journey, so you're not just doing it by yourself and whatever happens, happens. I'm there to help you to focus it to get the most out of it. How'd I do? Do I
Yeah,
pass the test?
it's all right. I'm a bit distracted because when you are straight, but when I look at myself, I'm a bit.
Yeah,
My head.
I'm just this program I like it not very much, but I feel like I can't stand looking at myself. And actually, I'm just put a little towel over my screen. Now I only see you. I don't see myself. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
we
shall
also could make
I
the
talk about how
screen
it?
smaller. Does this better? Do you like that better?
Oh, that's okay. Yes, but I'm still a bit.
Oh,
I don't know
well,
what.
that's because that's the way you are.
Yeah,
That's just you.
that's possible, but
It's because of trauma.
okay.
You see, everything is slightly off. Into we're gonna when I come to Netherlands, everything's gonna go like that.
No,
Your whole
otherwise,
life is just gonna go like that.
yeah, okay, like that. Okay. Shall I share how
Yeah,
FG
yeah,
breathing is for me?
yeah.
I started in November 22, about 2 years ago.
22,
22,
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Oh my God!
Such a long time, huh? You didn't
I thought
realize it.
maybe it was. I thought maybe it was a year, but yeah.
It's almost 2 years. And the first sessions for me was there came a lot of emotion in the first session. So I watched myself crying. I thought, what the? I'm crying. I normally don't cry very easy, but in the Effiji it just flowed. It was a sort of flow of tears, and that was in the first couple of sessions. But after that, only what the only thing I felt was the
Yeah.
energy in my body. That's every time I feel the energy in my body. After a few minutes, I only feel the energy rising through my body, starting at my feet and coming up, and that's almost the whole hour continues that way.
Hmm.
So after the hour, I have to stay laid down. I have to lay down. I'm laying down the whole hour, but I have to stay laying down because you're so yeah. The energy is so much in movement that I couldn't stand up at that moment. Then I should be all I'm all shaky. Then do you recognize that?
Well, so far, why would somebody want to do that? Doesn't sound pleasant.
It seems like a sort of addiction because when you start, I have the normal things that everybody has. So when I have to start, you start at 6:30 at my time, at 9:30 a.m. your time. And then you tell something about the breathing, and then Sarah takes over and do a lot of preparation for the FG breathing. Yeah, I know all that sort of stuff. So then I'm preparing. I go have to pee, and then I lay down, and okay. And then when we start, then it takes me about I think 30 seconds, and I'm fully in it. So I have no resistance. I'm just doing it
Why do you call it an addiction?
because I like it, and I'm looking for yeah.
Well, what do you like about it? The reason why I asked you it doesn't sound pleasant is that if I was listening to this and I had no idea what this breathwork thing was, and like, what would the value of doing this be, given the way you described your experience? It sounds like I'm going to go on some wild ride for no reason, or something like. And I've never heard anybody say they were addicted to the practice because it's rigorous, right? It's difficult to do. It's not that easy to just start breathing like that. So I don't think so I'm wondering if you could say something about the value of doing this. And if not, I can do it, but I feel like you described what your experience is, and I want to get closer to why that's a good thing. I
Hmm.
don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yes. The value is that when the hour is past, I feel I'm all cleaned up
Mm.
because the energy is moving in that hour, and after that hour, I'm almost I'm feeling, yeah, kind of enthusiastic,
A
uh,
lightness,
a
free,
lightness.
a freedom. Yeah.
Yes.
So just to tie up what I said and what you said, I think that you're here to clear the blocks, because the blocked energy is what prevents you from living a joyful, meaningful, full life. And so there's something about the breath work, and I mean, it's my experience too. I mean, sometimes it's emotional and it might go back to being emotional for you, but what happens after is you feel clearer and lighter and more who you really are. And all that kind of linear jibber jabber in the mind, it's not there. The worry, the anxiety, the judgment, the anger, the resentment, the all those things, it's subside and you feel more clear, like you just feel who you really are. And to me, if you're going to fulfill your life purpose, you have to feel you are that person already, even if you haven't manifested it. So I feel like that's, yeah. And I would say also, maybe you know this but didn't know, say no to say it, is that it's unbelievable to me. It's been 2 years, but in that 2 year period, the person I met and the person that you are now, you've changed. I mean, I've gotten to know you better too, so that's part of it as well. Like, now I understand you a little better. But at the beginning, and the way that you processed and what was going on with you, you were stuck when I met you, like very stuck in a
Hmm.
lot of ways. And your life at that time was also reflecting that stuckness. And there were lots of changes that went on for you personally over that period of time. And you feel more with yourself, more relaxed, more available, and not so, you were kind of stuck in the past. You were a little stuck in old memories that were unresolved, your relationships and things. And I feel like a lot has changed for you, that is a reflection to me of the work that you did do, that the breath work, the breath work you're doing now, pure energy, is kind of you. You're sort of like that. You're an energy guy, like an excitement and
Yes.
enthusiasm and passion. And you were just like head down, kind of negative and sort of stuck. And like, I don't feel that anymore.
No. Okay. I recognize that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just to say, there's a value in doing the work and doing it repeated times, because it starts to change you. And it also just changes kind of what happens in your life, because you're accelerating your karma. So your magnetic field changes. And you know, sometimes relationships start, sometimes they end. Like, lots of stuff starts to happen quicker when you do the breath work, because it accelerates your path.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And also, but that's the energetic part of the breathing, but there's also a physical part of breathing. I remember when I started, my whole body was shaking when I was breathing.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
it was later, and I got some feedback from you and from Sarah about that. And later, my body is much, for now, my body is much more at ease, and I'm just breathing,
Yeah.
and that's and the energy is going better because it's not the physical movement that's important, but at breathing, but more the energy that's moving.
Yeah. Well, two things. One, maybe we could do 20 breaths together, share with whoever's listening. They could do it with us so they can know what we're talking about. So that's one. But two, I would say the physical body houses the soul, but it houses the non-physical parts, like your breath. It also houses your mind and your emotions, right? But like, so the body is the holding place. So when you first start to do the breath work and your body has a certain tension to it because of habit patterns and trauma and conditioning, it's not that open. You have to do a lot more work. And you also have a lot more physical sensations. But when it starts to open up, you kind of get higher quicker during the breath, but you don't have as much physiological sensations, because the machinery is not like it's not so locked up.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of what you're saying. And one thing, like, you used to do it very physiologically because the energy wasn't as available. And I know when I come in November, December, that you're going to have another major jump because we haven't been in person and I haven't put my hands on your body while you're breathing. Completely different thing, doing it in a group and all that kind of stuff. And we'll go back to being physical somewhat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So should we do 10 breaths or 20 breaths? How many should we do?
10 is okay with me.
10's okay. Okay. On the podcast I did just a half hour ago, we did 10 because I thought I didn't want to scare her, but I thought you were going to say 20, but we'll do 10.
Okay.
So and the recording, I don't know if the microphone will shut off because of breathing on it. It might cancel my voice, but for your listeners, our listeners, you're breathing in the center of the chest. You're focused on the inhale and the mouth. So just chest, inhale, mouth, meaning you're not, don't worry about the exhale. Don't worry about the belly. You're just, and then as soon as the breath comes in, you just let it go. So, and there's a rhythm to it. It's like 85 beats per minute for you musicians who are listening, but it's like, that's the rhythm of it. All right, so we're going to do 10 breaths. We're sitting down during the practice. We're going to be laying down. We're only doing 10. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. And then just close your eyes and let it go. Now, for me, that feels fantastic. I was in Boston this last week, and I got sick, so that just feels like taking drugs. Yeah. So it's an immediate, sensation, of energy moving through, but that's only the first 30 seconds. It's 1 hour without stopping, and you're laying on your back, so you don't have to worry about falling or being dizzy. The first few minutes feels a little bit more like that, and then you just enter an altered state and everything changes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's good for
I
now.
think we're done. Okay.
Yes. Right.